Hello and welcome to FPL Waffle. Essentially, in this video, I'm going to give you a Game Week 8 wildcard draft that I've put together and I think looks fairly strong while also is quite aggressive at the same time. You'll see what I mean in a sec. Initially, sort of for the defence and the goalkeeper. So we've got Raya in goal. I think if you can afford him in this draft, like Arsenal have the best defence in the league. Okay, they've conceded a couple of times to two easier teams recently, but I feel like moving forward, they're going to be they're going to pick up clean sheets and he's going to be a solid set and forget. If you can't afford him for this team, Flecken and Valdemarson will do very nicely to save some money and you can set and forget them with Brentford's fixtures that are coming up. The back, I've got Trent. I just think even for the money, he's still good attackingly, even in the harder fixtures. He's going to get some attacking returns. He might get a few clean sheets in the harder games. Liverpool have been doing well defensively this season. So Trent's still my favourite defender, I think, if you can afford him. Gabriel for Arsenal, like his attacking threat from corners is immense. Arsenal, like I've just said, are going to pick up clean sheets. I think double Arsenal defence isn't a bad way to go at all. Porro, I've said before, he's kind of like the Trent of Spurs, and they've got some decent fixtures coming up. They've been doing okay defensively. He's going to get some attacking returns. I just think, basically, if you want to play a back three every week, it doesn't really matter which fixture these guys have. Like, I'd be happy to play him because they're going to pick up points throughout the season in whatever sort of various games they're in, whether it be hard or easy, they're going to pick up points. So, really happy with that defence. Into the midfield, then. So somebody might be raising some eyebrows at this midfield. Let me explain. So you've got Mbuemo, however you say his name, doing unbelievably for Brentford. Great value. He's on, penalties, set pieces. He's their talisman. I think he's a no-brainer. You have to have him in whatever team you have at the moment. McNeil, I've got in there for Everton, partly financially, but partly he's been doing really well for them. They've still got a brilliant fixture run, as you can see here. Incredible fixtures coming up. I just think for that price, for the fixtures they have, the fact he's on set pieces and he's, setting up a lot of things, he's playing more in advance behind Calvert-Lewin, he's a good shout. Brennan Johnson's in the form of his life. I think he's returned, yeah, consistently for a while. I think he scored quite a few in a row if you include um, some of the European games. So for the fixtures again Spurs have, I think he's a good shout. Speaking of sort of my aggressive sort of play in this team, so hear me out on this. I've got Foden and Doku in, or Doku, however you say his name. I just think so. Look, City's fixtures, right? Here we go. Away to Wolves have been awful defensively this season. Home Southampton, again, horrific team this season. Bournemouth and Brighton are definitely teams that City can get at. Home to Spurs, there's definitely goals in that. And then it starts to look a little harder, but it's City, they're going to score goals. But at the very least, right, for this batch of games here, I'd just play them every week, except they're probably going to get a benching or maybe two in that period. But even then, if they come off the bench, they can return. And if you get some of these chaps starting in the likes of these games, like over the next 2 weeks, and even some of these others, like you could go big. If you manage to nail these two starting at home Southampton, you could haul beyond belief. And I just think it's worth the aggressive punt. Over those game weeks, they're going to start at least a few. They're going to get some returns, and if you're lucky, they might go crazy. And I just think it's worth a punt, and it's a fun punt as well. These are two of the most sort of exciting attacking midfielders for City. If you can get a bit lucky, you could be having a lot of fun and also, differentiate where other people aren't going to have Doku. They might have a few Foden owners out there, but I think it's worth the punt. And then later on, you can always move them on to other players once you've sort of got through those fixtures. So I like the punt. Up top, you've then got sort of a triple City attack in Haaland. Again, just captain him every week for the next few. It's a no-brainer. And Solanke with Spurs' fixtures, he's been looking all right. He's their sort of main number nine up top. He might be on pens and they sort of play to a system which I think suits him fairly well. He's going to get chances, he's going to get goals. And then on the bench, this guy's a four mil for Fulham. If Leno happens to get injured or anything, he comes in. Welbeck's been doing brilliantly for Brighton, and for the price of this draft, I could afford him. Like I said, if you can't afford this, you can just downgrade Raya to Flecken or McNeil to Rodgers or something like that. But yeah, Welbeck's in good form, and he's starting for us each game. So I think he's a good shout to have sort of as your first bench or to come in for the easier fixtures that he has. Face for Leicester, I think solid. He's cheap for 4.1 mil, 4.2, whatever he is now. There you go, 4.1. Yeah, Leicester are doing okay defensively. He's a cheap sort of defender that's playing every single match. He's got a bit of attacking threat, and they've got some decent fixtures. If you needed him, say if like a Doku was benched or Foden was benched and didn't get any minutes, I wouldn't mind him coming on in those games because he might get a clean sheet like he did last game week. And then Eight Nuri, right? So Wolves have some great fixtures coming up, and if you need him some of these games, particularly home Southampton, you might just want to start him. I think he's a good shout, and he's been doing really well attackingly. So that's the team. So perhaps hopefully some food for thought. Hopefully something a bit different compared to some of the other wildcard drafts with the likes of these chaps in midfield. If you're done with fantasy football content, tune off now. If you're sticking around for the Pokemon pack, let's see if we can get anyone good. Paradox Rift, as per always. Let's see anyone in the pack, and we've got ourselves a fairly standard Hollow Porygon Z. So nothing too to write home about. We'll leave it there. Have a good international break. I'll probably do a video next week to sort of sum up how my team did this last game week and transfer plans and sort of tips for players to bring in moving forward. But we'll leave this one there for now. Have a good international break, as I've already said, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.